Okay, so thus far we have done the creditors journal, right, where we're doing daily posting, and then we did the general ledger where we do it at the end of the month, and now we're going on to the creditors ledger, right? So the creditors ledger, we do it daily. So what is the creditors ledger? Individual ledgers for each creditor, right? It's showing the invoices for the purchases or the services and the total amount owing by each creditor, right? So let's have a look at an example here. So the example that we're continuing with, so we have this creditors journal. For example, this is Macro. Okay, remember we bought from Macro for 2,000 Rand, right? We write down, that's supposed to be Macro, sorry, Macro supplies. Okay, and the date is that we're doing the creditors ledger for January. So on the 1st, the balance brought down will be written in the balance column here, right? So now then whatever they were owing you from the previous months will be recorded there, right? Then we have on the 15th that we went to Macro, invoice B2, and we bought. Where did we get this information from? From our creditors journal, which is here. We've bought on the 15th from Macro Supplies, and we bought for 2,000 Rand, right? So that means we are owing them now 2,000 Rand. So what do? We put it into the credit column. Remember, it's a liability. These ones here, these are liabilities. And it has a credit balance. Okay, so we are owing Macro 2,000 Rand. So if, for example, we were owing them in the previous months 1,000 Rand, same like how we did the debtors ledger, you would add this balance to that balance and get a new total there. So if that was 1,000 Rand, your new total would become 3,000 Rand, right? So if we look at Alco Services, on the 24th, we bought from them for 190 Rand. Sorry, we actually have a service from them for 190 Rand, which was for repairs. So we're doing a daily posting. So if the balance brought on the 1st, you would say the balance brought down on the 1st of January. What was the previous amounts that we were owing them? Are there any outstanding invoices, right? Okay, so that you will get at the beginning when you're doing your exercise. Then on the 24th, if we go back here, Alco Services, we bought 190 Rands worth of repairs. So we are owing 190 Rand worth of repairs for the service. So what do we need to do? We need to say that we got it from our CJ1. Where did we get it from? Your invoice number is provided to you, and now we are owing them 190 Rand more. So if there was an example, there was 100 Rand balance there, you would add 100 plus 190 and you're getting your balance there. It's the same thing as we did the debtors ledger, but please take note, now we are increasing on the credit side, and later on we will see when there's a debit there. Okay, so for now you're just entering into your credit balances because it's a liability and you're keeping track of how much they owe you. Then we go on to the creditors list, which will be drawn up at the end of the month that you're doing, right? So Sparky, Macro, and Alco, the 3 people that we bought from and the 3 transactions that we had. You're going to take the total from here. Okay, so Macro's total will come there, and Alco Services total will come there. At the end of the month, you're going to add the totals up, and this has to agree to the creditors control. Okay, so when we look at the creditors control account, this amount here must agree because it's common sense, right? You're recording in the creditors journal, you're recording all the transactions that each creditor is owing you, right? And then we go and post it to the creditors control account. And in the creditors ledger, we are dividing it and separating it into per creditor. Okay, so we're showing which creditor we owe what, because we have to go and pay that creditor that amount, pay that creditor that amount, and that creditor that amount. So at the end of the month, your total, same how we did the debtors list and the debtors control, your creditors list total needs to agree to your creditors control account. Okay, so I've just made a note here for you. So when we're doing the creditors list, you need to remember that you do the creditors list at the end of the month. Okay, so you write down your creditors, how much do they owe you, and this total is important. It needs to agree to the control account. So now we will go through the exercise and do the exercise so that we can do a practical example. So your homework for today for creditors is on page 131. Okay, and it's task 5.5. Okay.